Hello and welcome to Hearing About Musicals. I'm Esme,
And I'm Nell.
and today we're going to be talking about the In the Heights movie. It's been such a long time since we spoke
This
about
is
In the
so
Heights.
long.
It's been
Um,
an
yes,
entire
a
seven
whole week has passed,
7 days have passed since me and Nell sat down and went, "Should we talk about In the Heights?"
and not about an hour and a half.
Yeah, not a solid like hour and a half, 2 hours. This is because I'm going on holiday, so we're pre-recording. Um,
The real reason the hours break was so I could make dinner.
I also had dinner and cleaned my room. It was
The reason we're recording two back to back is because Esme's going on holiday.
Yeah, I'm going to the sun. It's a needed break. But there's still some news that we want to report on.
Yeah, real news that has happened.
Real news that has happened. Or guys, we've just got some tips in, some rumors, like press releases have started to be sent to our
Many
inboxes.
people have come to us and told us this
Um,
specifically.
Confirmed it. So
The hour and a half break was actually us just confirming all of these.
yeah, we were just
Like,
on the phone
yeah.
going, is this happening?
Going, Andy, just another confirmation, please. And he said, anything for you girls.
He said, "You guys are
Um,
my biggest fans.
and
I'll do
I'm
anything for
yours.
you."
Uh,
Yeah, he is the biggest supporter of the podcast. Shout out to Andy and Jason Robert Brown. They are
and Jason
both.
Robert Brown.
We don't give Jason his props enough for being the biggest fan of the podcast. Um, Actually, no, he's the biggest fan of himself and no one else. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Um, yeah, so let's just get into it. The Muppets.
This is very real news.
Very real news segment. The Muppets will be playing Broadway. It's been rumored for a while, but it's finally happening.
Mm.
But they're doing the new production of Phantom of the Opera. Um
I hear Andy, this was the reason he closed it, actually.
yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like many people were saying they need to refit the Majestic. That's
Yeah.
not true. They actually haven't been refitting the Majestic. It's just been sitting there.
Yeah.
Um, it's because they were discussing the Muppets Phantom, and it's finally gone through. They're finally doing it. I for one, am really excited.
Obviously, Nell's buzzing. I am also buzzing because I love Phantom and I also love the Muppets. So we can exclusively announce here today on You're Wrong About Musicals, Kermit will be playing Raoul, Miss Piggy will be Christine, Andrew Lloyd Webber himself in the flesh will finally get to play the Phantom. He's never played the Phantom because he's been waiting until he could do it opposite the Muppets.
Many people have said that the
Yeah,
Phantom is Andrew Lloyd
Andy's.
Webber's self-insert about Sarah Brightman, blah
Yeah,
blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this has obviously never been true. We've never said it was true
No, we've
because
never no.
obviously
Mm.
Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera
Mhm.
was written about Miss Piggy.
Obviously,
He
Miss Piggy.
saw her and Kermit's love, and he said, "Well, I have to write the Phantom of the Opera, but it may have to be around Christine."
Yeah,
And obviously, there needs to be drama and intrigue in a musical because it was the 80s.
yeah.
So I will make myself the villain of the story in order to show how in love they are and make
Yeah,
myself the Phantom.
yeah. He will finally be playing the Phantom. Fozzie Bear will be one of the managers, and Gonzo will be the other.
We haven't decided, they haven't decided which is which.
It's up to them. They're gonna do it themselves.
I have a feeling in my heart, Fozzie Bear,
Yeah.
definitely going to be like Furman,
Oh, interesting.
and Gonzo's going to be Andre.
Interesting. Carlotta hasn't been decided yet. We're thinking we're gonna get in. Oh, Abby Lee Miller is Madame Jury.
Yes.
Um, we haven't decided who's gonna be Carlotta yet. We're thinking a big name from the opera world. So hasn't been confirmed. We'll let you guys know.
I'll say this, I can reveal this exclusively.
Oh yeah.
I have been contacted.
Oh okay.
Uh, and I've not said anything yet. I'm holding out, but
Okay.
the
You're waiting to
email's
see
there.
if the offer will be upped. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You, Fozzie Bear, and Gonzo will be doing and Kermit will be doing Prima Donna.
Who's Pianju?
Oh my God, who's Pianju?
This hasn't been announced yet, or maybe it hasn't. Esme hasn't told me. Um, Esme is looking up a list of Muppets.
Oh, Animal. Animal is Pianji.
No, I'm really looking forward to this production.
Now is officially taking her role as Carlotta.
As Carl, I will be playing Carlotta, my dream role. Um,
Alongside Abby Lee Miller, Animal,
alongside Every Miller.
Miss Piggy. Anyway, on to some more very real news that Inez Mitchell herself confirmed when we met her.
Yeah,
There's a new Hadestown cast recording coming, but we've been given permission to pick who we want to play the roles, from the people who've already played it in the past. It will be recorded live, there will be an audience, and we will be in the best seats in the house. Yep, yep.
yeah. So look forward to that, guys.
Look forward to that coming to your ears soon. No one will be surprised by our choices.
No one.
No one. Next to normal to do no house recording for the West End, but recorded live. Now this is one I'm really working on happening. It's not been confirmed yet, but we're working on it. Um,
This is
news-
one of those like kind of open secret ones
yeah, we all know
where
it's coming.
technically nothing has happened yet,
Technically,
but we all know it's going to.
it might happen. Newsies is coming back to the West End. We already knew this, right? Okay. Well, they forgot to tell us, but we can exclusively reveal, is it's going back to the traditionally staged version, and Andrew Keenan Bolger will be reprising his role as Crutchy.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep.
I spent £10 on my like pro shot
Yeah.
of the original stage, and I'm excited to see it in person.
Mm.
They'll of course be getting rid of the female newsies. That was way too woke.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
We can't have woke newsies, guys.
no. So,
Anastasia, this is a big one for now. Now, do you want to take this?
Anastasia is coming to the West End.
Yeah.
I've been praying for years for this, and the cast. Oh my God, the cast.
Stacked.
Rachel Zegler
Yeah.
as Anya.
Yeah.
And then Tom Blythe as Gleb and or Dimitri. He's
Yeah.
in talks for both. He might play both. He might
Yeah.
just pick on the day. You
Yeah.
know? He's
Him and
basically acting as an on-stage swing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he gets to decide.
Yeah. So I think him and Derek Klenner, who will be returning.
No, Derek Klenner is not doing it.
Who do you want as backup to meet your club? Ramin.
For me.
Him and Ramin, Tom and Ramin will be discussing it on the day.
They'll just kind of they do like rock, paper, scissors beforehand.
They flip a
And
coin
then-
in front of the audience.
Yeah. It's they do like one of those on like what's your like marbles race and they just pick a marble and whoever comes in front gets the pick.
Yeah.
It's a really well thought out system.
Yeah. It's a very scientific system. It's very fair. We're very pleased about it. Hasek and Paul have announced they are retiring from theatre and songwriting in general. They're going on an apology tour for creating Dear Evan Hansen with special guests Ben Platt, Mark Platt, and the kids from Theatre Camp.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. This tour will be stopping at mine and Nell's houses.
Yep. And also Drury Lane.
That's what's going into Drury Lane.
That's what's going into Drury Lane.
But after that is our all-star production of Tuck Everlasting.
Yes. After it's run at the open air theatre, it's going to Drury Lane.
Our all-star, which may or may not include Graham Norton.
No one who is listening to this, and barely even us,
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. But we did a fan cast for Tuck Everlasting if it was to come to the UK and they needed to like fully fan cast it, and it did include Graham Norton.
He was Winnie.
No, he wasn't. He was Angus.
You know the man in the yellow suit so he could do his bit and then go record the Graham Norton show.
Yeah, every night he does one little bit in Act 1,
A little bit.
goes and records the Graham Norton show, comes back for the Act 1 finale, Act 2 opener, and then just like leaves again for 2 hours. He comes back to finish it.
Yeah.
I forget who else we even had in this thing.
I think we had at one point.
Jack Malone was Miles.
Oh, Sheridan Smith.
What did we have as Jesse? We had someone crazy as Jesse.
I feel like we had an unknown as Jesse.
No,
Like,
we
Jesse
had someone.
and Winnie were not stunt cast. Winnie definitely was.
I thought we did have someone ridiculous as Jesse.
Oh, what's the dad's name?
Angus.
Angus. We had we had we had what's his face?
Oh my God.
We had Michael Paul as Angus. We talked about putting, oh my God, his name's escaping me. Michael Crawford. For like a long
You
time.
know, I was in a charity shop the other day and I found a Michael Crawford Disney album. And when I turned it over to see what Disney songs he could possibly be singing, the first one I saw was Colors of the Wind.
So Michael Crawford, babe.
Anyways, that one's not been officially announced, so we can't talk about
We
it.
can't say too much about that one.
Oh, fucking ridiculous. We had someone like also ridiculous playing Nana, but I can't remember who.
I think it was Sarah B. Just ask them.
And Nana.
We were really on one that day.
What were we even doing?
We were going to Anais Mitchell. We were just
Oh, yeah. We were walking around Central. That's
it
good
wasn't
Mitchell.
it wasn't even
We
like
were like Dream Tuck Everlasting cast. Graham Norton, Michael Bull, Sarah B, Sheridan Smith, and Jack Malone for sure.
normally it's quite a bit later on in the day when me and Nell start on this bullshit. It was like 12
It was maybe like 11:30 in the morning.
in the morning.
And we were walking around Covent Garden. We were right next to the Fortune Theatre, and I was like, Jack Malone has to play Miles.
Our friend Jack Malone has to play Miles. Oh.
Anyways,
Oh, and
what
also
else do
Laura
we have?
Osnes is making her return to the stage.
We might have had her playing Nana, to be honest.
We do like to dreamcast and then throw. Laura Osnes is doing Operation Mincemeat on
Laura Osnes is
Broadway.
there. No, she might be one of the showgirls. Graham Norton.
Oh my God. Oh, Jinx Monsoon will now be doing any show whenever she feels like it.
They just give her the theatre.
They just give her a theatre and some millions of dollars and we cheer.
Because, amen.
Um, Ballroom's Cats to play the West End. Another one
Big
I'm
news for us.
manifesting. We will be at opening night. Catch us there.
It's also going into Jury Lane.
Oh,
Every day that they don't announce what's going into Jury Lane permanently, we get to make the same joke.
but it always makes us laugh.
It's going into Jury
It's
Lane.
going to Drury Lane.
We're doing a live podcast episode in Jury Lane.
We're live podcasting from the back row of Phantom of the Opera. We talked about doing that during Love Never Dies.
Our row was empty.
We
could have
done an episode from Jury.
They did send like a usher to sit next to us because we did look so suspicious. These like two young girls sitting in the very back row. And I'm sure they were like, those bitches are gonna talk and like record the whole way through. And we sat in rapture.
Silence.
I was like fully leaning forward.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? Chapel Roan to play Charity in a Broadway revival of Sweet Charity.
Looking forward to it.
I think we should let Chapel Roan do Broadway. I'm being fully serious here. If Chapel Roan
Can I say something about
yes,
Chapel Roan?
share your fun fact about Chapel Roan.
Essentially, there was probably only going to be like an hour in between these recordings. The reason it was an hour and a half to 2 hours is because I said to Esme, I feel like you might already know this, but I just found this out really recently. So can I throw it out to you? And she's like, yeah, sure, what is it? I was like, Chapel Roan was an opener for Ben Platt's Reverie Tour in
I didn't know
2022.
that. I did not know that.
It was apparently we did spend again like an hour deep diving on this, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
She was an opener for one night in St. Louis.
Yeah.
At the fucking fantastic, fabulous Fox Club Theatre,
Yes.
wherever. We've seen two people total say that they know this happened
That they were
because they
there.
were there. Um, Neither Ben Platt nor Chapel Roan have made any mention of this happening.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, that was our big news about Chapel Roan.
about Chapel
But
Road. But
unfortunately, Ben Platt is a bigger Chapel Roan fan than we are.
I known about her long ago, which really pisses me off.
Yeah,
Um, have I got any fun pieces of news?
your third Gatsby.
My the third, yeah, they're doing a third Gatsby musical. It is written by Lin-Manuel Miranda and the ghost of Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah,
If anyone's in touch with the ghost of Stephen Sondheim, I truly believe it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. And I'm not joking.
I have heard a rumor about this, and
Uh-huh.
simply all it is that Andrew Lloyd Webber is fuming.
So is he going to write one in response?
Yes, the fourth Great Gatsby.
Okay. Oh, also, Patti LuPone has decided to stop cursing Andrew Lloyd Webber every day and decided to bury the hatchet and star in his next musical. Patty told us.
Yeah.
It's true, I swear.
Also,
And
I don't know, England fucking won the Euros or whatever. That's happened.
Gareth Southgate himself
Yeah, fucking sure, we've won
from
the
the
Euro.
play Dear England.
Gareth Southgate from Dear England has led the England team to victory in the Euros.
Yeah. Oh,
And in response, they actually just did a performance of Dear England instead of play.
what was I gonna say? Oh, Taylor Swift told us specifically. Everyone thinks she's gonna be in Les Mis. Everyone thinks that's probably what she's gonna do. Or she's gonna write her own musical. Wrong. She's doing Sunday in the Park with George.
Yeah.
She's playing Dot and then the old ass woman.
Yeah, she's got some dates out in the middle, because she's announcing Reputation Taylor's version.
She'll do it on stage as the old woman singing Children at Art.
Yeah.
She'll be like, uh, that's what she say. Children at Art. Do 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 do. And they go, Reputation, my version out December 18th. And then go back to being an old senile woman. Who's playing George?
Joe Alwyn.
Should I tell you who has played George before on
Jake
Broadway?
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't think my dear friend Joe would do it.
I think he might.
He's got nothing else going on. Oh,
Actually calling him dear friend Joe is funny because she does like kind of know him.
have a
And
mutual
we
with
won't
Joe
elaborate
Alwyn.
any further. We're not gonna elaborate any further than Esme does kind of know him.
Do act like when it's a bit with some of my friends to call him our dear friend Joe, and then it makes conversations that breed really weird.
But she does like kind of know him.
I don't know Joe Alwyn yet. Never met the man. Thinking about it, what would
Yeah.
I say if I ever met Joe Alwyn? Because I couldn't be like, I love the songs that are inspired by you. So
Lover is my favorite album.
I
I
actually
just wanna
fucking
let you know.
I actually fucking hate Lover. I hate me Um love the torture post about
I
this.
tell him, despite my appreciation and love of Miss Swift,
Mm.
I don't think the breakup makes you a bad person. I appreciate all you've done for Palestine. Um,
I'd
you are,
probably
however, the smallest man who ever lived.
see that song's about Matty Healy.
I'm, I like to believe it's about both of them.
No, I think my thing about Torture Poets is I think it's about both of them because they happen so close together and there was a lot of interlapping and there was a lot of other stuff like that where a lot of the way she's feeling about Matty is so influenced by how she felt with Joe.
Yeah, let's not
Um,
talk Taylor Swift.
that's what Torture Poets have
Right before we do
in the Heights.
the In the Heights movie.
I would talk about if I ever met Joel when I was thinking about this, I was like, what would I say? I'd be like, I actually really liked Conversations with Friends. Like, yeah, it's my favorite Sally Rooney. I would only half be like, I hate the series, but it is my favorite Sally Rooney. Um, that's it. Oh, I also have Kerry Butler tapped to be the next pop phenomena after her former Mean Girl cast members Renee Rapp and Sabrina Carpenter.
Amen.
Guys, stream Kerry Butler. That's it. I love Kerry Butler.
That's all of our very real news
That's
that we came up with.
real news.
I hope that just like one of them is real.
Like even half of it is real. What is most likely to become real, though, looking at this insane list?
Heard Gatsby.
Yeah. Newsies to come
I
back, but
think
traditionally staged.
I don't think so. I think the success of the different Newsies
Yeah.
is too good.
Like
I
that is
think my
Newsies.
dream, I think the Ballroom Cats one,
Yeah,
because it's not too weird. The
it
only
is.
other one I could see being like, oh yeah, this might come true is the next normal recording, but it might not be live. It probably won't be live.
I'm gonna kill this bitch. Taylor Swift just performed Right Where You Left Me Without Me.
Wow. God bless you.
Anyway, back to Lynn.
No
Back
episode
to
this week. Sorry, guys.
Sorry guys, I'm going through
This is
personal
this is
strife.
it.
This is the end. I'm going through personal strife right now. Anyway, in the Heights meeting.
Get born straight, get married.
Oh, don't. Best song ever written.
She did sing Last Kiss, to be fair.
Did she?
Yeah. Last Kiss and Sad, Beautiful, Tragic
On the
as
piano.
the second. Yeah, for the second song was a mashup. Oh,
I
her first one was a mashup of Right Where You Left Me, and all you had to do was stay
That's
on the guitar.
legal to sing on July 9th. Me and Nadia are going to be having texts about this. Shout out, Nadia. Anyway, In the Heights is a movie based on the musical with music and lyrics by Lin-Manuel Miranda, with a screenplay, with an adapted screenplay by Chiara Algira Hures and directed by John M. Chu. So, this movie has been kicked about for a while. It's been to some weird places in the world. What are you looking at?
What?
What are you looking at?
The dog?
Oh, okay. Sorry, you just flashed up here, and I was like, "What are you? What?" Because last time you did that, you were looking at Lin-Manuel Miranda's Jesus
No.
Christ Superstar.
Oh my.
So, in 2008, following the success of Mamma Mia, the Mamma Mia movie, Universal Pictures wanted to make another movie musical, so they would purchase the rights to In the Heights. So, like, this is new, this is fresh. We want this. This version of the film would have Kenny Ortega directing it, the guy from High School Musical. That guy.
Love the guy.
And he also directed the Gilmore Girls episode, They Shoot Gilmores, Don't They? Great episode. Um, and Chiara Algira Hures would return to write the script. It would cost $37 million to produce, and they would have production. Production was going to be in New York City. However, this would not
Right.
happen. In March of 2011, they would cancel the film, with Lynn saying, "We weren't able to make a film version of In the Heights together, but I'm looking forward to working with them in the near future. Moving forward, I'm excited to explore other options to make In the Heights the movie a reality." Basically, they've said since that this version of the movie fell apart because they wanted a bankable Latino star, reportedly Jennifer Lopez or Shakira. Who would either of those women play in the Heights?
I wish I could tell you.
Um, the studio thought it was too risky to commit to a $37 million budget to a musical featuring unknowns and stage actors. It quickly became, if you don't have bleep, you're not getting any money to make the movie. Lynn basically said to like didn't say an official name.
Mm.
Um, it's the kind of flawed logic Miranda and Chu agree is the results in dearth high profile movies for people of color. The silent the silence that rings in my ears from that era, it's not a lot of Latino stars can test international. Test international means we're not taking a chance on an expensive movie with Latino stars, Miranda says. In 2016, they would the rights would be acquired by Harvey Weinstein, with them hoping to make the movie for $15 million. And this basically the rights were bought after the In the Heights, like not In the Heights, Hamilton happened. It's like Hamilton happens, and they're suddenly like, oh, he's got some other stuff. Let's see how quickly we can capitalize on that. And Harvey Weinstein
Yeah.
sweeps in and has the deal. During this phase of development, they would have John M. Chu come on board to direct the movie. However, if the wake of
Wicked.
yeah, yeah, Wicked.
Wicked.
We know him as the guy who's the legend who directing the Wicked movie, which is that I don't think it's happening. So. Um, During this phase of development, like he would come on board. At this point, I think he was still working on Crazy Rich Asians.
Thank film.
I've seen a bit of it. I fell asleep during it, which wasn't the
Esme,
film's
you are
fault.
about to go on a plane.
I know it's the ultimate plane film,
It
so I
is
might
the
download it.
plane
I might
movie.
download it because I was thinking that.
Do you know how many times I've watched it while flying to Dubai?
Is that the one film you watch?
Yes,
Nell doesn't watch films,
I don't
guys.
watch films, but Crazy Rich Asians is such a good film, and on top of that, such a good plane film.
Yeah, because it's really like escapist and just fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Um, Obviously that Weinstein scandal would happen and the rights would be given back to Lynn and Kiara. Uh, because of this, Warner Bros. Would then buy the rights to the movie. Uh, because Lynn and all of his musicals were a hot commodity at this time point, it was a very different experience shopping around the rights to In the Heights. It felt timelier given the renewed push for diversity in the industry. Several Hollywood players orchestrated elaborate productions to woo Miranda and Chu, who was tapped to direct the film in 2016. Warner Bros., for instance, built a bodega on its uh, back lot, a recreated poignant touchstone from the screenplay. We are we were not wined and dined, but we were piagwered a little bit. I think Lynn did for a period of time. I mean, I am glad this caused like the In the Heights movie to happen, you know?
Yeah.
Um Anthony Ramos would be first cast as Usnavi. And yeah, he would join Usnavi at Miranda's. So John M. Chu was like, I kind of want to cast an unknown as Usnavi. It makes sense. It is what I want to do. Let me do it. And Anthony Ramos had just done the Lincoln Center production where he played Usnavi. And Miranda had been to see it, and he was like, John, you gotta go meet um Anthony Ramos. And so he did, and they had a coffee together in West Hollywood. The conversation with the two of them sobbing into their breakfast burritos. He broke down the lyrics and what they meant for his life, Chu says. It broke my heart and it gave me so much hope. Oh, he could sing and dance. He's charming, he's funny, and he's all the great things of a movie star. Ramos also got another important endorsement from Olga Mendes, who reprises her role as Abuela Claudia. She's acted against many Usnavis in her 3 years stint on Broadway. None, she says, captures the heart like Ramos. I call him the Puerto Rican James Dean. He's so sexy, but without trying. A week passed and Ramos heard nothing. Finally, he got an offer that would conflict with shooting In the Heights. He texted John and said, I got another job but I really want to do the movie, bro. He was like, hold on, let me get the suits to move. Those were his literal words, and boom, I got the offer the next day. Around this time, like the release was set for June 2020.
Look, surely that will go ahead.
Yeah, I remember all this happening. Like this was what was so fun about almost like putting together. It's like, oh, I remember when it was announced that he was
Yeah.
gonna be Usnavi, and it made no one was shocked by it. No one was like, really? Oh my God, that's so cool. Everyone was like, well, yeah, he just did the Kennedy Center. Sorry, I'm just gonna move my Wi-Fi. Um, can you hear me again? Yeah. Um, what are you singing? I cannot make out what you're singing. What are you singing? I cannot make it out.
I was really badly singing right away. He left me like really.
Me every time it comes on my shuffle.
Do you know that girl on TikTok who does the
Like shouting
like?
into her mic.
I was trying, I was trying to do that without shouting.
I feel like that's us
Like,
every time
you
I record.
let me know.
I love that guy. Um, anyway, Melissa Barrera. would join as Vanessa, Leslie Grace as Nina, Corey Hawkins as Benny, Jimmy Schmitz as Kevin Rosario, Olga Mendez as Abuela Claudia, Gregory Diaz as Sunny, Daphne Rubin Vega as Daniela, Stephanie Beatriz as Carla, Dasha Polanchino as what is that salon lady's name? I've never heard her name be said in the
Suka?
Suka.
Suka? Suka? I have
Um,
no idea.
her
I have to, is her name ever said?
her name's never said because I knew like oh yeah there's Daniela and there's Carla and then I knew there's a third one but I didn't know what her name was and I've seen the movie many times and I've very legally watched In the Heights the stage show. Lin Manuel Miranda would be the Piagua guy. Um, it was threatened to be cut if he didn't play the role, and I have thoughts on that.
I think it's fun.
I do think it's fun. However, let's get into the changes they made because it goes to back to some of my issues. Like, I want to say this now. I really like the movie. I do. I really do enjoy it. And there was a moment where I was like, "Oh my God, I'm not gonna like this movie. I'm just not gonna like it." And then I went
Mm.
to go see it, and I was like, "Oh wait, this is a good film." I just shut my big mouth. Sometimes I just go see some stuff because I'd seen the changes, which they made quite a few, and I didn't agree with all of them, and I still kind of don't agree with some of them. Like after seeing some of the ones, after seeing the movie, there was one that I'm just gonna start saying what the changes are and then give my commentary. But anyway, some of the changes would be most importantly to Nina's family. Her mother would be dead. Her mother's dead in the movie. So like they
Crazy.
obviously got rid of Enough and Kevin's song, so he takes on both roles. Uh Enough and Until has been have been cut. Nina also speaks more explicitly about the racism she has experienced in school and the loneliness she felt about being away from her community. In the film, Nina and Benny dated before she went to college, but broke up before she went to Stanford. Sunny has a storyline about her being an undocumented immigrant and what that means for his future in America, with Ustavi deciding to use lottery winnings to help Sunny get a green card, and Nina is inspired to go back to school to help other undocumented kids. Oh, Sunny's dad is also like explicitly in the movie. He's also like a deadbeat. There's a whole conversation that Ustavi has with him. It's a weird tone change from like the upbeat fun of it, the heights, and then suddenly you're in like Sunny's dad's apartment, which is like this horrible alcohol filled thing, and this like deadbeat guy's talking, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Mm.
Um, the lottery winning ticket is more of a mystery as to who has the ticket. Betty and Nina don't fight in the club. Instead, it's Ustavi and Vanessa. The In the movie, the blackout is less violent. The framing of the movie is changed, therefore making it known that Ustavi and Vanessa have a baby and making us think that they've gone to Puerto Rico. I hate this change. It grinds my gears to this day.
Yeah.
Because if you are watching the movie the entire time thinking because I when I first talked when I saw the movie in cinemas, I went to go see it. I saw it and I went, why is why is he in Puerto Rico? If they made him go to Puerto Rico, then that completely changes the whole entire message and feeling of the story. I was like, have they really changed that much? And they're like, haha, bait and switch. I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes, you idiots. Because it's like Usnavi telling a story to his child. I was like, you still could have had that. Just don't make it as obvious as like. Also, does this story really need a framing device like that?
I feel like sometimes it's a thing of a change between stage and screen.
Yeah,
Because this is a really stupid example I use like all the time. And it's unironically from like a Tumblr post.
yeah,
But it's like it's the opening line of a soliloquy in Hamlet, where
yeah.
Hamlet is just like everyone else goes on stage and he's gonna speak to the audience and he just goes, now I am alone.
Hmm.
And when you're watching it on a film, you're like, yeah, I guess. I guess you're alone. Because you
Yeah,
can't see past the edge of the camera. On a stage, you're like, oh, you are alone.
yeah,
There is no one else here.
yeah,
And it's a very like little thing. But I feel like that's what happens a lot with like these changes they make from stage to screen. Like this change to have it be, does he go to Puerto Rico? Does he not?
Yeah.
Is very much because there needs to be a level of like suspense in the
Yeah.
film.
I get that because I mean that's
Whereas
yeah.
within the musical, like the stage musical,
Yeah.
that level of suspense is there all the way up until the moment he decides and we watch him decide.
Yeah.
Whereas, as far as I remember, they don't have that specific bit in the film.
What do you
Yes,
where
no,
they do
yeah.
what? Sorry.
I'm trying to think. I've not watched this film in a hot minute. Like the bit in the finale
Yeah.
when
He
he's like,
decides
"I'm
to
staying."
stay in the finale, but then there's like a epilogue almost. Where it's like, and that's the story of why I'm still in the neighborhood. It's like I really love the ending as it is. Can we not just do like fade to black?
Yeah, I think a lot of it might also just be like the era it was in, like filmed in like 2019 kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It feels like that kind of era, which
There
isn't a
is
bad thing. Like,
yeah. So the change that really riled me up the most was the cutting of songs. They cut Sunrise, Hundreds of Stories, which I was like, okay, like if you're making cuts, sure, I guess. If Nina's mother has to be dead. Although with every adaptation of In the Heights, Nina loses a family member.
yeah,
They can't do any more versions of In the Heights because Nina will be an orphan.
I'm
She's
de
not.
no, definitely gonna do it. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I need to go back to college because it's what my dad always wanted me to do before he died." It's like, no, Nina, your dad is still alive. He's still there.
Um, no, because when the musical's first being written, she had a brother, a mother, and a father. And by the time
Like a
we've got
nuclear family.
yes, by the time we've got to the movie, 20 years later, Nina's got no family apart from her
In 2007,
dad.
Nina had a brother and two loving parents.
Yeah,
By 2008, she'd lost her brother. By 2021, she'd lost her mum.
she lost her mum.
We cannot keep adapting In the Heights.
Eyes, leave In the Heights alone for
She's gonna
Nina's
lose her dad.
safety. Um. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I knew that they were going to make cuts to songs because they always do. The two that
Yeah.
initially pissed me off the most was Attention and Everything I Know because I was like, I love those songs. They are some of my favorite
Yeah.
songs in The Heights. What do you mean you're doing In the Heights album? And then I saw the film and I sat my ass down in that cinema
Mhm.
and because they mess with the order, so it goes straight from Blackout, which is a gorgeously shot sequence. The entire film is very gorgeously shot. Straight from
Mm.
Blackout into the Since I Fae,
Okay.
and it is another insanely well shot sequence because they've got her moving through like it's like there's a big interpretive dance piece happening behind Will and Claudia as she's like moving through these train carriages,
Mm.
almost contemplating her life. And then it's this really quiet moment where she does like the last since I say and then she passes away. And it's very much meant to be like a space of her contemplating, do I die or do I live?
Okay, Winnie.
Okay, Winnie Foster.
Okay, Winnie.
And it is stunning and it is one of the best moments of the entire film. And then they just
I
go,
think
yeah,
I was just gonna say, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda has had two very good filmed versions of his musicals.
yes,
In that, Hamilton is an incredible pro shot.
outstanding.
Like truly like the gold standard of pro shots.
Yeah,
Um, then In the Heights is just an incredible like movie adaptation of it.
yeah.
Like I think for me, like West Side Story is
Oh,
still one of the best ever.
yeah.
but for what it is, In the Heights is also like really good. I think
In
maybe
the
I'm just way
era,
more skeptical of like In the Heights because I love the stage musical so much. Whereas West Side Story, I've never seen a live version of the stage musical. I've seen the film
yeah.
and I've seen like a bootleg. I've never watched a bootleg, but I've seen a
No, what's it
bootleg
look?
of.
What's it look?
But I may or may not have glimpsed a bootleg of West Side Story.
My thing with In the Heights, the movie, I really do like the movie, and this moment really shows it for me. And then we get to because they do Pacific Fair, it's a big moment, and it's outstanding. And then you get to Attention. No, then you get to Alabanza, and I was like, oh, I really do miss Attention, and I'm gonna miss everything I know. And then Alabanza happens, and the way they do it is so amazing and stunning, and such a moment that you're like, I think it was the right choice, having seen this, to cut everything I know and Alabanza.
Yeah.
Like,
I think like as well, I could sit here and be like, here's why I think they cut these songs away, change this around. But it's like at the end of the day, I have no idea. I don't watch films with that much.
no, you're not a film person.
Yeah, like I could go down and ask my housemate because he literally wrote an essay
In the
on the
Heights.
In the Heights movie
Yeah, I can
for
see
his
why
film
you
class.
would. Yeah.
And when I asked him about it before, it seemed very that it is obviously a very good movie
Yeah,
and
I think it is.
adaptation,
Yeah.
but he's like never really seen the musical.
Yeah.
He did a wonderful rendition of uh In the Heights, the opening song at karaoke a
Oh,
few
one
weeks ago
man.
by himself. Oh yeah,
That's iconic. That's some
yeah.
iconic shit right there.
I didn't film it because I filmed him and my other housemate's rendition of He Lives in You from The Lion King and then laughed so hard I lost my phone for a bit. So I have one of the recordings, but I don't have the In the Heights one.
Amazing. Um, yeah, I really we'll get to our thoughts, but I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
The movie wouldn't come out without backlash, though. Um, the movie would be criticized for, though a large proportion of the neighborhood's real life population is Black Latinx in the movie, all but one of the main cast members are light-skinned. And many viewers have noticed the seeming erasure of the Black Latinx community.
Mm.
Um, I remember this happening and there being a lot of talk about like the media, I don't know what's the right word for it, theory or I want to say like I can never say the word hedonistic device
Mm.
of like the paper bag test. Lynn would address this on his Twitter, saying, I started writing In the Heights because I didn't feel seen. And over the 20 years, all I wanted for us, all of us, is to be seen. I'm seeing discussion around Afro-Latino representation in our film this weekend, and it is clear that many of our dark-skinned Afro-Latino community don't feel sufficiently represented with it, and particularly among the leading roles. I can hear the hurt and frustration over colorism for being seen, for still feeling for feeling still unseen in the feedback. I hear that without sufficient dark-skinned Afro-Latino representation, the work feels erective of the community. I wanted so much to represent the pride and joy. I'm trying to paint a mosaic of the community, and we fell short. I'm truly sorry. I'm learning from all the feedback. I thank you for raising and listening. I'm trying to hold space for both our incredible pride in the movie we made, being accountable for our shortcomings. Thanks for your honest feedbacks. I promise to do better in my future projects, and I'm dedicated to learning and evolving as we try to make sure we are honoring our diverse and vibrant community. Simper Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm not going to have too much of a statement on this because not really my battles to fight.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like it's a fair criticism though.
it is, yeah, 100%. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a fair criticism.
Yeah.
And I appreciate in that apology how he was like, yeah, I'm sorry I fell short. Thanks for letting me know.
I also think it's obviously not a like conscious thing.
No, 100%. I don't think it is.
Mm. And I get like I get the argument because I remember seeing this specific argument like at the time.
Yeah, yeah, I
But it was
remember this
people
all
being like,
happening.
"Oh, well, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda's experience, and he's not like a dark-skinned Afro-Latinx.
Yeah,
So why would he cast
right that.
characters that are?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Well, that's not the point.
yeah,
Like those people didn't not exist
yeah. Like
when he was living through this,
exactly.
you know." And there's something to be said of it as well. Every character is actually just an expression of him. Like I get all of that argument, and I think it's a fair argument to make.
Mm.
But I also think it's very like,
Reductive almost of like,
yeah, it's like, yeah, obviously he wrote it for himself about himself.
mm,
But if you're taking that and then putting it on screen to sell to millions of people,
yes.
you have to take into account that it is no longer just about you.
And I'm not saying this is particularly Lynn's fault.
Oh yeah,
It's
obviously
probably
not.
like a lot of different decisions that went into this. I mean, he had to fight to get Anthony Ramos casted, but the way it was almost marketed was as come see this representation of Washington Heights. And if you're marketing your movie along those lines, then you are going to be open to some kind of pushback when people don't feel like you're representing them enough in
Yeah,
or in the right way, if that makes sense.
yeah. I guess as well, because if you're just coming off the, not even coming off, but you're riding the success of Hamilton,
Yeah.
which was incredibly diverse in like all the right ways,
Yeah.
then, because yeah, by the point that this was coming out, the pro shot was happening, had happened.
The Pro Shot was a year old at this point,
Yeah,
but Broadway still wasn't back.
yeah. So I guess it's the thing of being like, well, obviously you have the ability to do this because you've done it before.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing where it's like, I guess it's the thing of being like, if this was a truly unconscious bias, and I'm not making this argument, I'm basically trying to repeat the arguments I saw because all of them are pretty valid. It's a
That's true with
complex
this.
situation.
Yeah.
But basically saying if you have done this before, like if you have taken a show, made it into a screen adaptation,
Mm,
a pro shot in this case, which is slightly different,
yeah.
but you were still able to have an incredibly diverse cast.
Yeah.
And you can argue, like, half of it, yes, was the original Broadway cast, and diverse and how the ensemble wasn't.
Yes.
Um, and so if you're able to do that, clearly it's not like an entirely unconscious thing, or maybe it is,
Yeah.
because it's clearly not a I've specifically chosen who I want to star in my movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just waffling and trying to play both sides because I don't feel like
I
I
also
know enough to talk about it properly.
I saw this argument at the time being like, I don't get why everyone's specifically aiming this at Lynn. And it's always because he has become the figurehead of this movie through being in it and writing it and being an executive producer or whatever, because he's the name we know. We're leveling it all at him when actually this is a multi-million dollar production. There have been so
Yeah,
many people that have led to this point. You know, that's also one thing I saw of, yeah, people have a right to be angry, but maybe let's broaden that anger a bit, you know?
but I guess if you let yourself become the figurehead of it and let yourself do all the like public relations,
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you allow it
then
to
you
be,
have to be, if you as well as if you're the creator of it and you're signing off on being like, come see our representation,
yeah,
then you have to be prepared to defend what representation you've chosen, you know?
yeah, 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 yeah. I, yeah, I understand. The thing with this is, even at the time, I think I remembered saying to you or one of our friends, I understand like what's happening here. If that
Yeah.
makes sense, of
I
like,
wasn't sitting here being like, no, I have to defend Lin-Manuel
I have
Miranda.
to defend my boy Lynn. He made Hamilton. No, at that point, I feel like we were acting too cool for Hamilton.
Yeah, we're like, I don't even like musicals,
I don't,
actually.
I don't even care anymore. Anyway, um, so that's really what the reviewers had to say. The New York Times would say director John M. Chu's Crazy Rich Asians draws on anti-realist traditions of Hollywood song and dance spectacle to vault the characters and the audience into accelerated realms of feeling and magic. Two lovers step off a tenement fire escape and pirouette up and down the walls of the building street in thrilling defiance of gravity. Public swimming pools turn into busy Berkeley kaleidoscope of cynicism and color. The wigs at the salon shelf dance along into the beat of the production number. It's a great party with fireworks, dance floor blowouts, tears, kisses, loud arguments, more tears, which isn't the same as a great movie. There are some dead spots in the stories and scenes, including musical numbers, that are adequate when they should be dazzling. Still, in spite of the longest runtime, I really didn't want it to end. Chu knows how to show everyone a good time. The nightclub, swimming pool, and dance shop scenes are joyful and welcoming, even if, as cinema, they aren't particularly memorable or original. The dynamic choreography by Christopher Scott is ill-advised by the editing and camera movements, which hack graceful athletic motion into collegiate force of face and limbs. The notable exception, an emotional high point of the film, which accompanies the song Besitzei Fei, a lovely but piercing renaissance of exile and adaptation sung by Willa Claudia nearing the end of her life. She recalls immigration from Cuba as a young girl in the 1940s. There is a bitterness in the memories that followed, alienation and hardship to go along with the presence of faith. As she sings, the dancers' linen robes and head wrappings spin and lunge through in vintage subway cars. The song offering mic drop confirmation of Miranda's veracity as a composer and songwriter, while affirming his particular genius as a cultural historian. The images evoke back both Caribbean dance traditions and mid-century cinematographic modernism, sorry. Just as the layers of Latin American idioms onto sturdy show-tune infrastructure, the synthesis of is a revelation partly because it uncovers the undercurrents and influences that have always been there, if they weren't recognized or expressed quite in this way. I agree with that, I'd say.
Yeah. I think Vicente Fe is just such a good song, no matter what.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they gave it a moment in this adaptation to really let it soar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it is a moment. It is a set piece. The New York Times, they did give it the critics pick. And The Guardian would say about it. They would give it 3 stars, saying it's a sweet-natured film with Sunny D optimism and no place like home ethic. It is a pleasant in a pleasant way. The feature length version of that moment is in Fame when all the kids start dancing and singing around the yellow can outside of New York's Performing Arts. You can't help but compare it to West Side Story, soon to be revived by Steven Spielberg. But this one, there are no all jets and no sharks. All sharks, no jets. There is no serious conflict here, and the quarrels, family throws, and lovers' rift disappear very quickly. There's plenty of vibrancy and warming charm, but the present weird lack of grown-up plausibility. Of course, that's in part what musicals are. There's no presence for grit here in this oyster. For example, Nina talks about the ugly incident soured her experience at Stanford. Her roommates misplaced an expensive necklace, and the young woman's wealthy parents insisted on literally searching Nina, and the necklace was found in the bag. But not only did Nina not get an apology, but she found herself staring out an apology herself, an intense humiliation. But this all happens off camera. In the heights themselves, bad feelings evaporate. In the film's greenhouse-controlled atmosphere of bubbling excitement, there is absolutely no racial tension unless you count the white removal guys who calls Vanessa's colleague ma'am and are sharply told she should be senorita. It is possible to object to In the Heights because of its childlike incidents. Ramos is very good, and it is great to see Stephanie Beatrice and Dasha Polino from running around in the supporting cast. But it is a pretty quaint image of street lives whose realities probably worked better on stage.
I think it's again the same issue we talked about last week,
Yeah.
where it's just because there isn't violence doesn't mean it's not good.
They do. Like, that's one thing I will say. They do gritty it up. Like In the Heights is never gritty, but they do make it a lot more serious. As I said, they make Sonny's father a lot more absent and a alcoholic. In the musicals, never really explicitly said. It's just like Ustavi's taking care of Sunny and he's family, so he's taking care of him. In this
Yeah.
one, it's like Sunny's mum's dead. Mums are going missing in this movie.
We have lost way too many mothers
Way too
in
many
the
mothers
Heights.
have gone in the Heights. There are
There
no
is an
mothers, to be fair.
epidemic.
See, reviewers, get on that. Where are the mothers? Um, and Sunny's an undocumented immigrant.
Yeah.
They show them going to a rally and like, what does that mean for Sunny? Because especially because it was filmed and recorded and meant to be released during Trump's America.
Yeah. I guess as well, it's because again Lin was so involved, it might be his response to the original criticisms of the show, which were kind of the same things.
Yeah.
But then I guess in that same vein, like even like fucking Hairspray
Yes.
has like these gritty scenes where it's like racism exists.
Guys,
Holy shit.
did you know this thing is called racism?
Parts.
Guys, segregation is bad.
But then they have like parts where it's like Welcome to the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the other song names.
The nicest kids in town.
Yeah, but like these songs that are still taking like not the ones
Oh,
on the Corny Collins show.
run and tell that.
Yeah,
And then in the movie, not nicest kids in town, New Girl in Town.
yeah. But the ones that aren't like on the Corny Collins show, the ones
Yeah.
that are like jazz musicals,
No, I get exactly the
where it's
songs you're on
just like
about.
Welcome to the 60s. What is the one with all three of the girls?
What a New Girl in Town. There's a New Girl in Town. Oh,
No, no,
Mama.
no.
Mama and Big Go
Mom,
Down.
yeah, yes. I don't know why I'd like that.
I did have
Um,
to really think about it, even though I could probably
yeah,
sing Hairspray in my sleep.
yeah. But like they are still these kind of feel good songs
Yeah.
where it's like, oh hey, actually, you know what? Things might be okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously the finale is the same thing.
Yeah.
And you never have the same criticism with Hairspray. Where like,
No.
but what about the civil rights movement? Like there were
It's like
fights, and why isn't that shown in Hairspray?
it's like why aren't we seeing people be brutally beaten up? It's like, do you like sorry? What is it?
Yeah,
Brutally beaten up and then us all sit around and sing 96,000?
yeah.
Like, how do you want the show to go? Because you admit the music is good and the story that supports the music is good. When do you want these street brawls to be breaking out, people?
Like I understand with like Blackout being slightly less violent.
Yeah.
I get that, but it's like I don't think it's fair to review something that has always been intended to be like for Latinos by Latinos
Yeah.
and say, well, I didn't like it because where was the gang violence, which I know Latinos are famous for.
I've only seen West Side Story, and so West Side Story tells me you guys have to be brawling in the streets,
Yeah,
and you're not. So,
you're not doing that. So what's going on here?
Lynn, fix this.
Like, I think it's okay for a musical to have plot holes
Yeah.
and like be unrealistic.
Dude, they're fucking singing.
Like, listen, we have complained about musicals a lot. I
Oh
don't think
yeah.
we've ever sat and complained about the plot of a musical and been like, it's unrealistic. This wouldn't ever happen in real life.
Yeah.
Like,
Guys, people don't go around singing. I hate to break this to you. I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this.
unless you're us, people don't go around singing.
On the way to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, singing
Normally,
Sunday in the Park with
Sunday in the
George.
Park with George. Yeah, it's just this really weird criticism, and it's still coming up, what, almost 10 years later of, over 10 years
Yeah,
later. Why aren't they fighting? Why aren't they fighting in the streets? Like, in a lot of ways, we've come so far culturally about, like, what, in terms of representation and all that kind of stuff. So to have this still very persistent criticism come up is so strange to me.
yeah. Like, I think if you watch In the Heights and you're like, oh, there's not enough like tension or drama,
Yeah.
I think you just don't get it. Like, there is so much tension. Like this whole, like we said it last week, this whole idea of is everyone going to stay or is everyone going to go? And
Yeah, I
whether that's
mean,
by choice, like Usnavi wants to choose to leave with his money,
yeah.
or whether they're forced out by rising rents and like gentrification.
They spend a lot more time on the gentrification plot subplot. Patrick Page plays a gentrifier, and I have no other way.
Patrick Page, we have got to stop typecasting you. You need
Always,
to
he
play a nice
is
guy one of these
always
days.
playing just a capitalist.
I'm gonna look up a list of Patrick Page roles
Okay,
because it's gonna be like Hades and the
the
gentrifier
gentr
in the Heights
you know what
movie.
I mean when I say Patrick Page played the
Yeah,
gentrifier in the Heights.
my
Pat
my Patrick, you have got to get some better roles. Holy shit!
great in all of his roles, but
The Lion King, Scar.
love
Dr. Seuss
you.
is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Grinch. Oliver. Hagen.
Jesus Christ, mate.
Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. And Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin.
Oh, sorry, I just had my this isn't a Tina Fey skit. Guys, I don't know if I've ever said this. I think Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark is a Tina Fey skit, and then I see people talking about it seriously, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Dear Lord. Dear Lord.
What?
Patrick. Okay. Anastasia, Vlad Popov, but in 2012, so I'm pretty sure that's when Vlad was the villain.
Um, but yeah, like it's explicitly said like Carla moves her salon.
So I keep reading these. These are so funny.
Sure.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Do you want any pasta?
Frollo.
No more. What did you have for dinner? Leftovers. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying? Is it the Hunchback
The
of Notre
Hunchback
Dame?
of Notre Dame as Frollo.
Okay. More classic villains.
In the original Broadway revival cast of Spring Awakening, he
Oh
played
yeah,
adult
he was
men.
the man. Until like 6 months ago, that's what I knew him for.
In A Musical Christmas Carol, he was Ebenezer Scrooge.
Man,
Dear Lord.
play him, please. Stop playing a villain.
He was in the animated Book of Mormon, by the way.
That's an animated Book of Mormon.
Yeah, from 1989.
Okay, I'm just not even gonna.
He played Octavius Pratt in Schmigadoon.
I really want to watch Schmigadoon, actually. I really should go on that.
I do forget that, like, the second season is called Schmigado.
Chicago. I love Chicago. Oh, he was in some Apple TV thing, and it came. My parents always watch it, and I looked up and I was like, "What the fuck is Patrick Page doing on my TV screen?"
Dear Lord.
Anyway, all that to say, In the Heights, the movie is a lot more like they're like, "Here's a gentrifier. It's Patrick
Here's
Page
Patrick Page,
playing a
the
gentrifier."
evil man.
Patrick Page walks on, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's not
It's
evil."
like, fuck.
Fuck.
He talks in his deep voice. He's like, shit, he's gonna gentrify something
He's
again.
gonna gentrify something.
God's sake.
Patrick.
Patrick.
Patrick, we're joking. Patrick, we like you. You're in our live version
I
of Hades.
love Patrick Page so much.
You're in our live cast of
Please
Hades
stop
Town.
playing evil characters.
We're not helping that by casting him in our live Hades Town cast.
He could play Orpheus.
The whole point of the experiment is for us to get
La la la
Donald.
la la.
The whole point of the experiment is for us to get Donald Finn on a recording.
Please, Donaldson, just record one song. I
Please.
know you did do Wedding Song with Anais Mitchell, and trust me, I listened to it on repeat.
Donald Finn, no. Anyone from Hades Town, don't check my phone for Hades Town bootlegs. I don't have any.
But yeah, I
Like they make the risk more explicit by having someone come in and buy Nina's father's Kevin Rosario's like shop. They have the
yeah,
risk more real and like Carla moves. Someone actually like leaves. Like no one actually
yeah,
ever leaves like in the Heights before because of the way it was staged and all this kind of stuff. And like when I was sat there and I was having too good of a time to think when are they going to start beating each other up, you know?
I think it's just kind of a ridiculous criticism to have constantly about it.
Yeah,
Like, I think clearly if when it was criticized for this in 2008 and
yeah,
nothing changed, I think
yeah,
you just have to accept that that's not what the story is about.
it might not be a story for you at that point.
Yeah. Like being like, oh, but in West Side Story, go watch West Side Story.
There's a remake coming out in literally a couple months. Calm
Like,
down.
go watch it.
Go watch Mike Feist be good at his job.
When you're a jet, you're a jet.
Yeah. Go play Spot the Newsy and Maddie Ziegler in West Side
I
Story
keep
in
seeing
a
this fucking
couple.
clip of Maddie Ziegler and like Ben Tyler Cook
Yeah.
hugging. And
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
crazy.
you've got to get them out of there.
Every time me and my friend watch West Side Story an embarrassing amount. Like it's kind of embarrassing how often we, two grown women with degrees and lives, sit down together and watch West Side Story.
It's like I'm not denying West Side Story is a good film.
And every time I do, I always get jump scared by Maddie Ziegler and Ben Tyler Cook being in the same room.
It's crazy.
Um. Anyway, all that to say, get a grip. What else do I have to say on the In the Heights movie? I think it's great. I once watched it on a plane, so I have watched a John M. Chu movie on a plane. I was hungover as shit because we'd been at a birthday party the night before.
Yeah.
Um, and I ate my food and then I passed out for like 12 hours. But it was great. I cried over Boiling Cloudy's death. I really like the fact that John Tube doesn't really commit to realism. He's like, yeah, it's set in Washington Heights, which is a very real place. These feel like very real people, but they're also singing. So yeah, they're gonna dance up and down the walls of a tenement building. Yeah, when Vanessa's singing Won't Be Long Now, there's going to be rolls of fabric following her down the street.
I think John Cho as a director does that really well.
Yeah,
Like Crazy Rich Asians have this level of this could definitely happen, but not in the way I am watching it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
Crazy Rich Asians is slightly less like fantastical,
Mm,
but it still feels very. And I guess in part of that is because it's meant to be these people are so rich we can't even
imagine.
see their lives as reality.
Yeah,
Like yeah, shit just happens like this to them.
yeah.
Um, a great analysis of Crazy Rich Asians, but it still has this level of like, oh, this is fun to watch.
There's also a part of how do I want to say this? There's a bit of Breathe is another good moment of this. It's like it could be realistic, it could also not be.
Yeah.
Neither as she's singing Breathe and it's getting more and more. She's like, when I was a child, I stayed wide awake. Da, 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 da. She's following a child around the neighborhood, which sounds really weird. But like it's almost like a metaphor of like this was her as a child and she's trying to get back to that. So she's running
Yeah.
after her and it's almost like haunting her. It works very well.
Yeah. I think as well, this is the final thing I want to say on In the Heights because
Yeah, same.
I feel like I could talk on it for a while, but it'd just be me kind of saying the same things.
Yeah.
And mainly just what we said last week, just being like, I really like
I
this.
really love In the Heights. We're not going to devolve into that again, guys. I
Yeah.
promise.
Um, but can I just say,
Yes.
it took a while for them to get a movie.
Yep.
How many years would you say, Esme? Like 10 at least?
10, 12, yeah.
From the first discussions of a movie, like 10
2008,
years.
12 years.
But the prom,
They didn't have Sweet Sweet Ryan Murphy money.
it was Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
Hamilton had come out.
I know. I know. It took them 4 years, 5 years after Hamilton to
It
finally
didn't even
get this
take that
thing
long
out.
between the idea of the prom starting for it to have a movie.
As we said, it's an industry plant. Bleh.
That's not the prom isn't a real musical.
It's not. It's a collective fever dream we all had that as a side effect from COVID.
Yeah.
Um, great.
Yeah. Love in the Heights.
Love in Heights. It would do well in the box office, and it's mainly because it is a musical at the end of the day, and they didn't really go beyond the core Broadway fan base. And also, it was still COVID-y times, so it was hard to get people into the theater.
Yeah. I don't think we saw it.
I saw
I
it.
definitely didn't. I
You
didn't
didn't
see
see
it
it.
in like a theater.
No, because you wanted to keep the streak of the last film in cinemas you saw being Cats.
Yeah,
I,
which
for
I
the
kept for as
longest
long as possible.
possible time, I saw Cats was the last movie I saw before COVID, and then In the Heights was the first movie I saw back after COVID.
I try to think if I saw anything else in cinemas because otherwise the next one I saw
Was
in cinema,
Barbie.
oh yeah, I was gonna say, was it like theater camp?
That'd be
Because that
funny.
would have been
You should
hilarious.
you should just tell people it was theatre camp.
Yeah, but it was Barbie,
It was
I'm
Barbie.
pretty sure. I might have seen one other thing, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't know, man. Anyway, this has been our 2 week special special on In the Heights. We're gonna go back to an actual stage musicale next week. Guys, we're doing it. We're doing Hairspray. I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions about Hairspray, actually more than I ever realized. I feel very passionately about it, believe it or not.
I loved Zac Efron in Hairspray.
It's a very sentimental musical to me. That's how I
Yeah,
feel about Hairspray. I have
I
a
loved John Travolta in Hairspray.
um leave us a review. We will read it out if it's funny. Even if it's not, we'll read it out. If you DM us, I will probably respond at some point. Now we'll see it.
Yep.
Follow us on
Follow us on Twitter. We don't have enough followers over there.
all social medias. We want to beat the bot count on Twitter. Um, but yeah.
Again, 5 followers, 3 of them are bots. And I refuse to block them because I like having more followers on that account.
We
But
have more. The thing with that Twitter is we have more followers on our personal accounts.
yeah,
It's so funny.
I
Anyway.
refuse to retweet the podcast Twitter on my personal.
Oh, I would rather die than do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway,
Um, but yeah,
see you guys
we'll see
next
you
week.
next week. We'll have some actual news.
What do you mean? Our news is very real and factual
Our
this
very real
week.
news that we did this week.
Yeah, anyway, speak to you guys soon. Bye bye.